In this video, I'll be walking you through step by step how to set up a YouTube ad campaign to generate leads or sales for your business. My name is Kyle Sulerud. I'm the founder of AdLeg, a marketing agency that specializes in YouTube ads. And today, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can set up a YouTube ad campaign for your business. Now, there are a few things you need in place before you can set up a campaign. Of course, you need a business. You need something you are selling, some product or service. You need a website, a landing page where you'll be sending the YouTube ad traffic to, and you'll need a video ad. Now, the video ad is super important, but I'm not going to be covering that in this tutorial. I have other resources for you if you need help creating your videos. I have a swipe file, I have scripting guides, and I will put links to all that stuff in the description of this video. But in this video, I'm just going to be showing you inside the ad dashboard how you would set up a campaign for the best results possible. Now, I'm going to assume you already have an ad account set up. If not, one piece of advice is to go do a Google search for Google Ads coupon, because if you have a brand new account, Google will usually have a coupon available for you. And this changes all the time, but by Googling it, you can find the most up-to-date coupon. And then you go create your Google Ads account and you get here. This is where I want you to start, is on this new campaign creation page where we can click the blue plus sign to create a new campaign. Now, I'm not going to be explaining every type of campaign in this tutorial. I'm not going to be explaining every little setting. I'm going to be showing you the settings that I recommend, and I'm going to explain those just so you understand a little bit about what we're doing. But I'm not going to explain everything we are not doing. I do have several more in-depth explanations on this channel about a lot of this stuff. So if you want more deeper insight into some of this, subscribe to my channel, go look through the past videos. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to be going through my recommended settings, because you don't need to know about everything in order to get a YouTube ad campaign up and running. So for this campaign, we are generating leads or sales. You see that when we create a campaign, we're starting with the goal. Do we want sales, leads, website traffic, etc.? So for this campaign, we are going to select sales or leads, because then Google's going to give us certain options within the settings that will help to optimize for sales or leads. So I'm going to select leads, and then we select the campaign type. Search, display, and of course video is what we're going to select for YouTube ads. Now, in order to optimize for leads or sales, we need to set up conversion tracking. Google needs to know what a lead or a sale is for us, and that's done by us telling Google. We tell Google, okay, if somebody takes this action on my website, I want them counted as a lead, and therefore Google will know, okay, that person that took that action, they are a lead, they are a conversion. We're going to track that within the ad platform. So because that is super important, and because you really can't run a lead generation or a sales campaign in YouTube without conversion tracking, I'm going to take a short detour and show you how to set up conversion tracking. And there's a link right here we can use, or you can go up to Tools and Settings and Conversions and set it up here. Now, at the time of me recording this, Google's playing around with this interface, so it might actually look a little bit different. Even if you watch this the day that I publish it, it might look a little bit different to you, but the main components should all be there. So you might have to navigate your way around a little bit differently, but the main components should all be here for you. So you need to get to the conversions section, and then we're going to add a conversion. And there are different types of conversions. You can import them from Google Analytics or other third parties. But I'm just going to show you how to use website conversions. This is the easiest and works the best. Okay, it actually works better than importing from Google Analytics in my experience. So we're going to select website conversions. The category here will be submit lead form, because I'm going to track people who are submitting a lead form. People who are entering their name and email in order to get some free thing that I'm offering with this campaign. For a value, we will not use a value. We want to count one conversion. If we're counting every conversion, it's going to double count people and it will throw off the tracking. And then for attribution model, okay, attribution model, I'm going to choose first click. For lead generation campaigns, I use first click attribution. And that means if someone, they click on my lead generation campaign and maybe they don't sign up right away, but they see a retargeting ad later and they sign up for that after clicking on a different campaign. Well, with first click attribution, Google gives credit to that very first campaign that somebody clicked on. And with a lead generation campaign, that's what I want to have happen. Okay, if I'm selecting last click, Google will credit that conversion to the last campaign somebody clicked on, and that is what I would use for a retargeting campaign. But for a lead generation campaign, I really want to know, how did that first interaction start? Because that is going to make my optimization work a lot better when I'm optimizing in order for people to take that first step and have that first interaction with me. So now I will create this. And now what we need to do is install a couple pieces of code on the website. If you're not familiar with how to do this, you may need to get the help of a developer. I'm not going to show you how to put this code on your website. There are plenty of tutorials out there for that. It's pretty simple. But I'm going to explain the code to you. So first we have this global site tag right here. And this is going to be the same code for every different conversion action you create. It's also the same code for your retargeting. So this code actually should go on every single page of your website, from the home page to the thank you page to the membership pages and everywhere in between. So this code goes on every page of your website. Then for each conversion action, we're going to get an event snippet. And the event snippet just should go on one page, and it should just be triggered when somebody visits that page. Okay, and there are more advanced ways to trigger these snippets if you are using Google Tag Manager. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to tell you, you can put this snippet on one page, so it would go on your thank you page. So someone submits their name and their email, they click submit, they go to the next page in your funnel. That page is where you should put this, okay? Because we want to track people who are hitting that page, that thank you page, because that will tell Google which people submitted the lead form. Okay, so very important, we only put this snippet on one page, and it should only be on the page that people would hit after becoming a lead or after making a purchase. Okay, so we've set up that lead form. Now if we go back to the conversion page, we see that right here. And I'm going to create one more conversion action. So this one is going to be same thing, website conversion. But this is going to be for a purchase. Okay, so this is going to be a purchase. And here I am going to create a value. So for this hypothetical purchase, it is worth $1,000. Again, we only want to track one. The only time you might use every is if you have some product or service where people are coming back to your website several times over the course of time, and they're ordering things often. They keep returning to your website and ordering more things. That's when you would consider using every. But most of the time, if you're just generating leads once or you're selling one main product, you only want to count conversions one time. And again, we want to select first click attribution because I want to know where these purchases originated from, their very first interaction. And we'll continue with that. Again, this code goes on every page of your website. It should already be there. Okay, you only need to install this once. And then this is the code you would install each time you are adding a new conversion action. So this now would go on the sales thank you page. So after someone makes a purchase, the next page they land on, this code should be there so Google knows who your purchasers are. Okay, so let's go back to the main Google Ads dashboard. And we're going to create a campaign. So what we did a little bit ago wasn't saved, so we're starting over with a lead campaign, a video campaign, and then if you have an existing account, maybe you've used for some other things before, you might see a list right here of the different conversion actions that are already in your account. By default, your campaign is going to optimize for all of those conversion actions, and they're all going to have equal weight. So you need to be aware that that's usually not what you want to have happen. A lot of the times I see duplicate conversion actions. So it's counting people who submitted your lead form with one conversion action, and then maybe there's a third-party source that's counting that same action, but it's a different conversion action. So it's showing up as two conversions. You want to avoid that type of thing. So if you see a list here of multiple conversions that you've set up in your account before, make sure you're removing the ones that are not going to be relevant to this campaign. You only want to optimize for relevant conversions, meaning if I have a call funnel, for example, where we have a lead generation and then people are signing up for a sales call, and then maybe we have a purchase that we are tracking. Well, we would want to track the lead generation, we would want to track the call, and we would want to track the purchase. Okay, we'd want to track those three things. Now, yes, if someone goes through all three of those steps, it will count them 3 times, but that's good. I want that because that's a very high value person. If they were a lead and then they scheduled a call and then they bought something, that's a very high value person, and I'm fine with that showing up as 3 conversions versus someone who only was a lead and they didn't book a call. That person would only show up as 1 conversion. Okay, that's fine, but I don't want to be double tracking any of these conversions. I just want to be tracking each important step along the way to a purchase. So when we continue into the campaign, we're going to be given the settings. You need to name your campaign. This just needs to be something that makes sense to you. I do recommend a date. And when you launch the campaign, if you're not going to launch it immediately, I'd recommend changing that date to the launch date. It just makes it really easy to keep track of what's going on in your account. Bid strategy changes to target CPA. Now, if you want a detailed explanation about all the bid strategies, including the ones that we are not going to use, I have a video on that. I'll put a link in the description. But we're going to use target CPA for this campaign. And what this means is we're going to tell Google that I would like to get conversions. Okay, CPA stands for cost per action, which means cost per conversion. So we're telling Google, I would like to get conversions for this particular amount. Google then, with all of its artificial intelligence, is going to try to generate conversions for you for that amount that you give it. Now, it's not perfect, and you're not just going to be paying per conversion. If for some reason Google can't find any conversions for you, you're still going to be paying. You're going to be paying Google no matter what. But this is just a guide. And we use this bid strategy because it actually works pretty well. It's a pretty good guide of how Google can help you optimize for the results that you want. For the start of a campaign, I'd recommend setting your target CPA about 2 or 3 times what you would actually expect to pay per action. So if I am optimizing for leads for a video sales letter, so people are opting in to see a webinar or a video sales letter, depending on the market, let's say I'm wanting to get these leads for $5 a piece. Okay, I'm expecting that's what I'm going to pay. Well, to start the campaign, if I'm just bidding $5, it's going to be starting really slowly, or I might not get any traffic at all. And I don't want that. I want things to start moving right away. So I'm going to start with a bid of $15. Now, just because I'm bidding $15 doesn't mean that that's what my average CPA is going to be. In some cases, it might be a lot higher, depending on how good my ads are and depending on how good my offer is. In some cases, it might be a lot lower. In fact, if I'm thinking and expecting that it'll be about $5 per lead, maybe based on how my Facebook ads are doing or based on what I know about a particular market, if I'm expecting $5 leads, even if I'm bidding $15 leads, I'll probably be getting my leads for about $5 with what I'm expecting. The difference here is if I start with a $5 bid, I'm just not going to be getting much traffic right away. If I start with a $15 bid, then I probably will be getting traffic, and then I can start to lower my bid so that it becomes more in line with what I'm actually paying per lead. Let's move on to budget. So this is really personal to you. What do you want to spend? What can you afford to invest in this campaign? The way that my agency does it is we set up several campaigns. We set up 20, 30, 40 campaigns at a time. So each of those campaigns when we're starting out isn't going to have a very high budget. It might have a budget of $5 or $10 per day. And then we start to optimize. You can see Google's trying to get us to spend more money. They're pretty good at throwing up these warnings that would be things that would enable you as an advertiser to spend more money and Google to make more money. But we usually don't want to follow these warnings that they throw up. So I'm going to set a budget of $10 a day. Now, if you actually want to start with $100 a day, $200 a day, instead of setting a daily budget here of $100 or $200, what you'd want to do is create more campaigns, multiple campaigns with different types of targeting, which I'll get into in a little bit. And then each of the campaigns you create would start with a budget of $5 or $10. Okay? And what that's going to enable you to do is look at which campaigns are working the best, look at which ones are not working at all. You start to increase the budget on the ones that are working. You turn off the ones that aren't working. And that's like optimization 101. That's the easiest way to start getting better results, is to do more of what's working, less of what isn't working. And you do that by adjusting your budgets and your bids and by turning campaigns off and on. Networks, you can't change this anymore. I'll explain it briefly. So towards the end of 2021, Google made a change where we could no longer just run ads that would run during the videos that we were watching. We now, when we set up ads, they're going to run as like thumbnail ads, where people would see the thumbnail of the video, click on it, and go watch it. They would also run on the display network, on video partners, meaning they would run outside of YouTube. Either they would look like banner ads where there's a video playing, or maybe they're playing within a video that's on a third-party site, but they are off of YouTube. That's what this video partners on the display network means. We used to be able to turn that off. We can't turn it off anymore. There are some ways around it, though, depending on what type of targeting you're using and some other settings. So I'm going to touch on that in this video, how we actually, even though we're being forced to enable video partners on the display network, our ads don't necessarily need to show up video partners on the display network. And because there's a lot of wacky third-party sites that are included in YouTube's video partners, we really don't want our ads showing up there. So I'll be explaining a little more on that later in this video. Locations, just make sure you are only selecting locations that you want. And you don't need to get too granular. Like if you're wanting to target the United States and Canada and Australia, I would actually recommend just putting all of those into one campaign. Later, if it proves to be that the United States performs way better than Australia, then you might consider splitting those into different campaigns. But for the most part, when you're targeting populations that have a lot in common, you can put them into the same campaigns. It actually helps with the optimization not to have things too fragmented. We want our targeting to be fragmented, but some of this other stuff like locations does not need to be so fragmented. Languages, make sure you are selecting a language here, and it should only be one language, and it should only be the language that your ads and your website are in. If you're targeting multiple languages, you should have separate ads, separate website, and separate campaigns for different languages. Okay, inventory type. Standard works pretty well. Most videos are going to fall within standard. If you absolutely don't want your ads showing up on anything with profanity or anything sexually suggestive, you can select limited inventory. Or if you just don't care at all, you can select expanded inventory. This will increase your reach a little bit, but your ads might show up on weird videos with like graphic violence and stuff like that. Standard inventory works pretty well here. And then under excluded content, I would recommend excluding embedded videos, excluding live videos. This just tends to be lower quality traffic. And then in terms of content labels to exclude, this again, if you don't want your ads running on videos that have been rated for a mature audience, you could exclude this. Generally though, I'm not checking any boxes here. And I'm also unchecking content not labeled. So this essentially opens it up for any content that is on YouTube that fits within this standard inventory category. Site link extensions, I'm not going to talk about in this video. You can go find my other video on site link extensions if you're interested in this. Site link extensions will not have a big effect on your campaign one way or the other, so that's why I'm skipping over them right now. Under additional settings, we see conversions. Now, depending on the current interface version that Google is throwing at you, you might not see this conversion setting here. You might only be able to select your conversions on that previous screen where I was telling you about how they're showing a list of all your conversions. But in this case, we are able to choose conversion actions. So what I would want to do is select the purchase conversion plus the submit lead conversion. So that is the conversion action set that we are going to choose for this campaign. Okay, otherwise, every conversion that you have set up is going to be used. In this case, these are the only two conversions in the account, so it doesn't really matter. But once you are adding more and more conversion actions into your account, you are going to want to choose specific actions for your campaign. Devices is going to tell Google which type of devices to allow your ads on. And for this, I would come and uncheck the TV screen box. Okay, if someone's seeing my ad on a TV screen, isn't going to be able to click the link that I want them to click, so I don't want my ad showing on TV screens. Frequency capping tells Google how many times a particular user will see your ad. Now, we don't know who these specific users are, but this is going to limit any one person from seeing your ad however many times you want to limit. you can limit impression frequency. Now, an impression just means they were exposed to your ad, even for a brief second. Maybe they saw it briefly and they closed their window. Or maybe they saw it for 5 seconds and then they skipped it. All of those people are impressions. A view is someone who sees your ad for at least 30 seconds. Now, it used to be you would only pay for views, but that's not the case. Okay, we're using target CPA bidding, and that means Google is going to try to find conversions for us for what we are bidding, but we're actually going to be paying for every impression. So don't let anyone tell you that you need to worry about getting people to skip your ad right away so that you can save money. That's just not the case anymore. Okay. There are other reasons to get people to skip your ad right away, but it's not so that you don't have to pay. Okay, it's mainly so that you're training Google what your audience looks like, and the more people are watching of your ad, the more Google's going to go help you find more of those people who are actually going to view your ad for at least 30 seconds and take actions. But here I do like to limit the frequency. So for impressions, I typically limit 5 per day. And then for views, I will limit 2 a day. So someone could see my ad, they'd skip it a few times, they could see it again, okay, and maybe the 4th time they actually, it catches them in the right mood, and they decide to watch the ad. Okay, and now they've viewed most of the ad and decide they're just going to skip it again. Okay, so now we've had 3 or 4 impressions, so we haven't hit the cap. We've had 1 view, we haven't hit the cap. This person could see the ad again today, and maybe this next time they watch it again. Okay, and this time maybe they finally click on it and they become a lead, or they don't. Okay, either way, they're not going to see that ad again because now they've viewed it twice. They're not going to see that ad again today. They might see it tomorrow, but they're done seeing it for today, so we don't have to worry about people getting bombarded with our ads if we're setting these frequency caps. Schedule, you're usually not going to use, but if for some reason you want to limit your ad to run on certain days or at certain times of day, you can do that here. So next, we're going to create an ad group. Everything I've done so far is for creating a campaign. Within the account, we have multiple campaigns, and a campaign is basically where you're setting your budget. Each campaign has its own budget, is how I look at it. Within each campaign, then, we have ad groups. Now, you could just have one ad group, which is what I'm going to show you here, is just setting up one ad group within the campaign. Or you could have multiple ad groups within a campaign. So a campaign is where you are housing one ad group or multiple ad groups. So here I'm going to be creating an ad group for a particular ad. What I would usually do then is name this ad group with the name of the ad so that it's easy for me to keep track of. Okay, also within the ad group, we are going to be setting up our targeting. So this is where we're telling Google who to show our ad to, where to show our ad. There are 2 main segments here. We can show our ad to people. And if we are only targeting people, Google will show our ad to people who meet our targeting specifications. And these people could be watching anything on YouTube. They could be looking at any type of content on YouTube. And because we are targeting them as people, they will potentially see our ad. The other type of targeting, which is the better type to start with, and which Google actually hides from us down here in the advanced settings, is content targeting. So this is where we are telling Google where we want our ad to show. So we're telling Google that we want our ad to show on videos about this topic, or we want our ad to show on this person's channel, or we want our ad to show on these specific videos. Okay, or we might tell Google we want our ad to show on videos related to this type of keyword. Now, keyword targeting is not the most accurate. I'll get into that shortly, but in general, content targeting is the better targeting, because think about it. If we're targeting a person based on some interest they have, maybe they're interested in dog training. That's all well and good. We could target people interested in dog training, and they could be watching a video from Mr. Beast or something that has nothing to do with dog training. They're not on YouTube to learn about dog training. They're on YouTube just to be entertained in that moment. And that's fine. That can work. We know someone's interested in dog training. Even though they're watching Mr. Beast, they might be swayed by our ad to come check out our offer about dog training. But what's much more powerful is when someone is actually watching videos about the interest that we are trying to target. Because then not only do we know someone's interested in dog training, if they're watching videos about it, obviously they're interested in it, but they are interested in that exact moment. They're trying to learn about dog training right now. They're going to be much more receptive to an offer about dog training than if they're watching some other video for entertainment or some other video to learn about something completely different that they're interested in. So content targeting is the best type of targeting to start with, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Audience targeting can also work well, but this is something I recommend setting up later. Okay, start with content targeting. Google is going to start to learn who your customers are, what they look like, when they're going to sign up for your offer. So then when you're targeting audiences, when you're targeting the people, it'll just work a lot better, because Google will have all that data from your content targeting to help optimize. One thing you don't want to do is add a bunch of audiences to target and a bunch of content targeting. That's going to stack and restrict the targeting, and it just restricts it too much, and it's not something you need to do. If you're targeting videos about dog training, you don't need to target audiences about dog training. You already know those people are interested in dog training, right? You don't need to stack the targeting. Okay, later, when we run out of people who are watching dog training videos and we want to target people interested in dog training but who are watching any type of video, at that point we do want the targeting to be broader. We don't want to stack that with content targeting, because it defeats the purpose. Okay, so content targeting, audience targeting, keep it separate. The only exception to that would be certain things like demographics. Okay, so let me briefly talk about audience targeting. If you want more in-depth, detailed instruction about audience targeting, you can check out other videos on my channel. But I'm going to briefly talk about it, and then I'll get into the meat of the targeting, which is going to be content targeting. Demographics allow you to restrict your ad to be shown to certain genders, age groups, parental status, or household income. Now, this is actually pretty accurate. Gender and age, we're telling Google this when we create a Google account. Parental status, household income. Household income used to not be very accurate at all. It was like zip code based, but it's way more accurate now. It's based on your behavior and things that you're doing online, and Google has a pretty good idea of how your household income stacks up. So if you don't want to target people in the lower 50% of household income, okay, you can uncheck this box. Now, the unknown for any of these categories is kind of up to you. So let's say, if I only want to target the top 30% of income, because I have some high dollar product that I only think the top 30% of earners are going to be interested in. Well, that's only about 30% of the population, right? So if I'm targeting unknown, I'll be targeting that 30% of the population, but then I'll also be targeting the other 70% of the population, within this unknown category, and the majority of unknowns are going to be outside of who I'm trying to target. So in this case, I would not select unknown. Let's say, though, that I want to target age groups, anyone 25 or older, and I just want to exclude 18 to 24-year-olds. Well, in this case, the unknown category, a small percentage of that category is actually going to be 18 to 24-year-olds. The majority of the category is going to be people that I'm trying to target. So in this case, I would leave unknown checked. Yes, that will include some 18 to 24-year-olds, but it's going to include a majority of 25 plus, and that's who I'm trying to target. So I'm fine if a few 18 to 24-year-olds leak in here. Okay, that's how I think about the unknown targeting. If it's a gender thing, so this is going to be 50-50, but I would leave unknown unchecked, at least to start with. Later on, we can always add this back in later. So we're optimizing really well for females here. If I want to add more traffic, I can select unknown. Because Google is going to know the types of people who are signing up for this offer. At this point, once we've been optimizing the campaigns for a while, most of these unknowns that come in here are still going to be female. Yeah, some males are going to come in, but most are going to be female. So at a certain point, you can actually choose unknown, and it will bring you the traffic you want. But you don't want to do that at the beginning. Okay, at the beginning, you want to be as targeted as you need to be. So that's demographics. There are different audience segments in here. Okay, again, I'm not going to go into detail here because I don't recommend starting with all of this audience targeting. One thing you want to make sure to do is uncheck this box for use optimized targeting. What this does is it gives Google permission to show your ad to a bunch of people outside of your target market who you're not targeting at all. Okay, Google's targeting is broad enough as it is. We don't need to give them permission to target a bunch of other people. And in fact, when I see accounts that have not opted out of this, the results for this optimized targeting are always really bad. So make sure you uncheck this box. Okay, so that brings us to content targeting, which is what we want. Now, I mentioned that keyword targeting is not perfect. So if I am adding dog training as a keyword here, yeah, this will help put my ad in front of videos about dog training, but it'll also put my ad in front of a lot of videos that are not about dog training. In fact, the vast majority of the content that my ad goes in front of will not be directly related to the keywords that I'm choosing. So for that reason, we want to avoid keywords immediately. Okay, we will be targeting keywords in the next campaign, but to start with, the only type of targeting that I recommend would be topics or placements. Okay, these are going to be your very first campaigns in order to help train Google on what your customers look like, who's going to be buying things from you, and then we can add in keyword targeting, and then we can add in audience targeting with different campaigns. Okay, but your first campaign should be topics or placements. Now, topics work great if they are available. But we have a very limited list here from Google of topics. And more than likely, the customers you're trying to reach actually don't have a topic here. So if I search dogs, for example, we have pets. We can target dogs as a topic, but that's about as specific as I can get, is videos about dogs. And this could be anything, not just videos about dog training. So if I want to be more specific and just target videos about dog training, which is going to give me the best results, I can't rely on topics. So I'm going to to skip topics and go on to placements. This is where I can give Google the best information on where I want them to show my video. And there's a couple options. We have video lineups. So this is similar to topics in that Google is placing videos on YouTube. They're placing these in these lineups, okay? And we can see what some of these look like here. Accounting, action games, American football. Okay, these are all the lineups that are available. We could do a search here. If we search dog in video lineups, there's nothing because there's no video lineups related to dogs at all, much less dog training. So video lineups isn't an option here, but for you, for your product, your service, go check out video lineups and see if there's one that's able to be targeted. Okay, and if there is a video lineup to target, you would just check this box here. And so now we're targeting accounting. Okay, and if you're targeting a video lineup, this is the only targeting that you would include. So you'd go on to the next step of the video of creating your ad. Okay, you wouldn't target video lineups and then also target a list of channels or videos in the same campaign. Okay, just like you wouldn't target a video lineup and then also target keywords or then also target audiences. Okay, keep this stuff separate. That's going to help you optimize your results. Again, to be able to focus on what is working and eliminate what isn't working. So here we're not going to use any video lineups. What we want to target are video channels, our YouTube channels and YouTube videos. So if I go over to YouTube and I do a search for dog training, and somebody goes to this top dog training results because they want to learn about dog training, and my ad plays on this ad, on this video, you think that's going to work pretty well? If I have a product about dog training, you think it would work pretty well for me to put my ad on this top result for dog training? Absolutely it would. If I do that, I'm essentially getting in front of somebody's search. I'm targeting what they were just searching for. Okay? They just searched for dog training. They clicked on the top video. They see my ad for a product about dog training. I just targeted their search. So in order to do that, what I would want to do is copy this video link, go into the placement targeting here, go back into placement targeting and enter, and then I can paste this placement. Okay, and here's that video right there. We are now targeting this video. But of course, people aren't just going and watching the first video. They're scrolling, they're finding the video that they're most interested in here. So we want to keep doing this. We want to copy as many links as we can that are relevant to dog training. Okay, so you or somebody should be going and copying all the links that you can relevant to dog training. You'll also find channels, right? All three of these videos are from the same channel. This channel obviously would be a great channel to target for placements. So we can copy that channel and put that here. Okay, and it's going to be targeting these videos we selected. We're also going to be targeting this channel now. So come to Google, find the links, find the channels. Now you don't need to worry about whether these videos show ads or not. Okay, I know there's some tools out there that tell you you can find monetized videos. None of that matters. For one, people with YouTube channels can change from having videos that are not monetized, that are not showing ads. Those can change to videos that actually do show ads. Plus, Google actually just shows ads on channels that are not monetized. Okay, particularly if there's some music or something being used and a copyright holder has claimed copyright on a video, those videos are going to show ads. Okay, whether or not a channel creator has enabled ads on their videos or not is irrelevant. Okay, your ads will potentially show on videos even if the creator has not enabled ads, and even if it's a small channel with fewer than 1,000 subscribers that isn't eligible for ads, your ads will still show. So you don't need to worry about going to these ads, figuring out if they, or going to these videos, figuring out if they show ads or not. Okay, that takes more time than simply copying and pasting the videos. Oh, I want to quickly show you a tool that will take even less time than that. And it's a tool called HOARDER. And what I can do with this tool is enter a keyword and select up to 500 results and search. And this is just going to show me the exact results from YouTube. Okay, we just saw on YouTube these exact videos: dog training fundamentals lesson 1. In HOARDER, this is the top result: dog training fundamentals lesson 1. This is basically just scraping the YouTube results, and we can see 496 videos here selected. I could do another search like dog training videos. Okay, and then this will find more videos. A lot of them will be the same, but we will get a lot of different results here. We can maybe do how to train a poodle if we want to look for videos that are more specific. Okay, so now in less than a minute, I've found almost 1,500 results. A lot of these are going to be duplicate, but we have hundreds and hundreds of results here that I can now, if I want to select all of these, I can select and copy these links and then go back to my ad campaign and paste them. So all 1,475 of those links have just been pasted into this campaign. I can add those, and you see that after removing duplicates, we have 1,200 videos that are now being targeted with this campaign. So now, because we're targeting so many videos, even though any one of these videos might not get a lot of views at any given time, because we're targeting so many, now is when we can start to get a decent amount of traffic from placement targeting. Another thing we can look at in HOARDER, after we've searched and found all these videos, I can look at top channels, and these are the channels that are showing up most frequently on the video report. So here too, we can come in and select these channels. If you don't know what a channel is, you might want to go watch it, make sure that yes, it's mostly about dog training. Sometimes channels will show up, maybe they have a lot of videos about dog training, but maybe they also have videos about training cats and training birds, or stuff that wouldn't be relevant. If only a small percentage of videos on a channel are about your topic, I would not target that channel. I would just target the videos relevant to your topic. But if the vast majority of videos on a channel are about your topic, well, then you can target that whole channel. Okay, and again here we can copy these links and go here. Okay, it's pasting the videos again, but it's also pasting these new channels. Okay, and again it'll remove duplicates, so that's not a big deal. And now you see it's added these channels that I just selected. Okay, so that's HOARDER. It's a tool I recommend you check out, vidhoarder.com, if you want to really speed up this process of researching and finding placements to target. So now we're targeting these channels, these videos. We're going to get people interested in dog training, at this exact moment. We're going to be showing them a product or service that they need help with right now, because either they just searched for dog training, or they're subscribed to one of these channels, or they're browsing around and they're clicking around on related videos about dog training, and they're ending up on these videos, and now they are seeing our ad. So that is the power of placement targeting. Next, we need to create an ad. Again, in this video, I'm not going to explain how to produce your ad, how to script your ad, anything like that. I do have resources for you to help with that, including a YouTube ad swipe file. So check out the description of this video and you can access those resources. For now though, we just need an ad. We need a video that we're going to use. So let me take this ad that I found earlier, and we're basically going to recreate this ad. Okay, so this ad showed up on one of these dog training videos. And what I want to do is use this video for an ad. And you can see along with this video, because we're on a computer, there's a banner in the upper right here. There's a button. Okay, this all goes with this ad. On a mobile device, there won't be a banner, but there will be a button. Okay, there will be a place for people to click on the ad. So what I would need to do first is find this video. Now, you already have your own video. You've uploaded it to YouTube. You know the link. What I can do to find the link for this video is go to copy debug info. And this just copied a big complicated string of code, but within that code it tells me what video this is. I made a tool that can help pull those videos out. And you might want to use this tool to build your own swipe file. As you see videos on YouTube that you want to save that are being used as ads, you can do what I just did. So copy debug info. Okay, right click, copy debug info. Go to adleg.com/debug. And this is just a free tool you can use. You paste the debug code in, and then it gives you the link. So this is the link for this particular ad. Apparently a very successful ad. It's been running less than a few weeks now. It just started at the end of 2021 and already has over a million views. So these are the types of ads that are good to save for a swipe file, especially if you have some type of product or something that's related to whatever this ad is about. Which I'm not going to show you this ad, but hopefully you get the idea. So we have this video URL now, and we can paste that here, just like you would paste your own video URL. And now the ad comes up right here. So this is the ad that's going to be used. Okay, we also need to know where we're going to be linking. So let me just grab the link from this actual ad. And the link goes right here. This is where people are going to land when they click on your ad. Now there might be it might be more than just a domain, right? You'd have a landing page here of some sort. Okay, that's what would go here. Whatever people are going to land on. The display URL though, you can see that when people actually see the URL, so the URL shows up here next to the banner. When people are seeing that, it doesn't include everything that's after your slashes. So this only includes the domain. It does not include what I just put here, landing page. People aren't going to see this in the ad. They're only going to see this. Now, if you want them to see something, you can add that. Okay, you can add that here, and then it will show up for people to see, but you don't need to do that. And I don't recommend it. I actually recommend just using your root domain as the display URL. The call to action is what's going to show up on the button. So in this ad that we are modeling, the call to action is watch now. the headline is this 7 pounds in 1 week. Okay, this is the headline for this ad. That's how the headline is going to look. So you see in the preview that shows up here where we just copied it from. It's also going to show up in the link overlay that comes up on the video. On mobile, it's going to show up under the video like this. Okay, so then we have the headline, we have the call to action, which is the button. We also can enter a long headline and a description here. Okay, we actually have to enter it, but we don't have to get creative. We could simply use our headline here. Okay, depending on the type of targeting you're using, the long headline or description may or may not show up. Now, let me take you back earlier in this tutorial. I told you about these networks, right? YouTube videos, which is where we want our ads showing most of the time. And then we also have video partners on the display network where we don't necessarily want our ads showing. And then also within YouTube videos or within search results could potentially be those thumbnail ads where people see a thumbnail of your video and they go click on it. And those types of placements we don't necessarily want either. Okay, we really only want our ad if we're doing a lead generation campaign, and if we're just starting out, we really only want our ad showing up while people are watching other videos. The other stuff can work. You know, it's great at a certain point if you want to scale, but just starting out, which is what we're doing now, we really only want our ads showing up on YouTube videos. With the targeting that we just used, with placement targeting, that's what happens. With placement targeting, our ad is only going to show up on these videos. It's not going to show up on another website. It's not going to show up as a thumbnail ad. Okay, it's really only going to show up on these videos. Now, when it does show up as a thumbnail ad, when it does show up on other websites, that's when the long headline or the description might show up in the ad. Okay, just so you know. When we add keyword targeting, at that point, our ad will be able to run on other websites. It will show up on video partners on the display network. With keyword targeting, the ad will not show up on the mobile home feed with the thumbnail ads. They're called video action ads. Your ads do not show up as video action ads with keyword targeting, although they do show up on other websites. I'm getting kind of into the weeds here, but this is important. Okay, it's important that you know why to start with placement targeting and why to add keyword targeting next. Okay, placement targeting, topic targeting is the most restrictive. Keyword targeting is the next most restrictive because it's not going to show your ads in the video action placements, which are thumbnail ads on mobile phones. Beyond that, then, once you are creating campaigns with audience targeting, now all bets are off. Your ads are going to show everywhere. They're yes, still going to show within videos that people are watching, but the ads are also going to show up as thumbnail ads. They're also going to show up on other websites. Okay, that's why it's important to start with content targeting so Google can learn how to optimize for your offer, so that when you add audience targeting and your placements and where people are seeing your ads get a lot more broad, hopefully your results can still be good because your results are already being optimized. And if you got lost there and you want to learn more about that, again, check out other videos on my channel, or just follow this advice to the T and just worry about placement targeting to start with. if and when that works for you, then just add keyword targeting. When that starts working, then add audience targeting. Okay, just follow the advice or check out some other videos where I go deeper into that. Okay, lastly here, we have a banner. And we can, just like Google, auto-generate our banner. And the banner is this. The banner is what's going to show up in the top right here on computer. So if you have an image that you want to use for a banner, you can upload that now. Or if you just want Google to use the banner from your channel, that will happen by default. And I'm honestly not sure why that is what Google recommends. Because obviously if you can create a banner and it's relevant to your offer, that would be a better banner to use with an ad than simply a banner from your YouTube channel. So this actually is not recommended. Uploading an image is recommended, but I'm going to skip that step for now. For your ad name, I would use the name of the video that you're using. So here is the video we're using here. This would be the name of the ad. Now, I just mentioned those thumbnail ads where people can click on your ad and they would go to your video. And if they did that, they'd actually land right here on this page. Okay, you can see comments are turned off, but there is a thumbs up on this video. That means people have found their way to this video, even though it's unlisted. Okay, and that's because either they have pulled the code, like I showed you with my debug tool and found it here, or maybe this is running as a thumbnail ad and people are clicking on it and coming here. For that reason, because people might land on this page, this is not a very good title for this video. You'd want to have a title for the video that would actually make sense to someone if they clicked and if they came to this watch page. You would also want to have a description here. Okay, they put the landing page in their description, which is great. You might want a little more than that. You wouldn't want a lot more though. Okay, you don't really want to be distracting people with a description. You don't want a bunch of links here. You really just want one link. It should be going to the same landing page that your ads are going to. So for this example, since this is the name of the video, this would be the name of the ad. And when I create this ad, then when I create this campaign, we'll do that. This is going to go through an approval process. Okay, someone at Google is going to probably watch this ad. Okay, they do have human oversight of these. A lot of their stuff is done with automations, but a lot of it is done with humans. Okay, so either a person or a computer is going to watch this ad, determine whether it is acceptable or not. And if it is, the ad will be approved and the ads will start running. Now, I don't necessarily want to run these right away. Maybe I'm getting things set up still and I want to launch at a later date. So what I want to do is go pause this campaign, because right now everything's on. As soon as this ad is approved, this campaign will start running. Yeah, I don't want that. So I'm going to go to all campaigns. And I'm going to click campaigns here, which will give me a list of campaigns. And then I'm going to pause it. Okay, now I don't have to worry about spending any money on this ad until I'm ready to come back here and turn it off. You might see a filter here. It might say campaign status enabled, in which case it looks like there aren't any campaigns. So if you're seeing this, if you don't see any campaigns, but you know that you've set up campaigns in your account, it's probably just this filter, and you probably just need to change it back to all. Okay, so here's the campaign that I set up. A couple more things though before we want to unleash this campaign on the world. There's a couple more important things. So I can come into this campaign, and this is where I would make some changes, okay, over time. So I mentioned starting a budget at $10 a day. and potentially increasing that over time. So if this campaign starts running and the results are looking good, this is where I can come increase the budget. So maybe I'd increase from 10 to 20 and let it run for a couple days at 20. And then things are still looking good. Maybe I'll go up to 30 and then 50. Okay, you want to slowly increase the budget over time. Do not go from $10 a day to $100 a day. Okay, do not go from $100 a day to $1,000 a day. Do these things gradually over time to make sure nothing breaks and to make sure you keep getting the good results that you're getting that are causing you to want to increase the budget in the first place. Okay, too much of a good thing can cause everything here to break. So gradually increase the budget. By the same token, this is the target CPA. So remember, I thought I would get leads for $5 in this campaign, but because I wanted things to start moving, I set the bid at $15. Well, once things actually are moving, and once I see, if I see that I am getting leads for about $5, well, now I want to adjust this also. So maybe I'll start by dropping it down to $10. Okay, and let that run for a few days. Make sure things are still going how I would expect. And then maybe I'll drop it down again. If we're getting leads for $5 a lead, I wouldn't drop it all the way down there, but I'd put it a little above there, maybe $7 per lead. Okay, this doesn't actually have as much effect on the actual cost per lead as you would think. You could potentially be bidding $100 per lead, and Google's bringing you leads for $5 or $10. Or maybe we are bidding $15 a lead, but it's just not working very well. Maybe we're paying $50 a lead. Okay, now if that happens, the leads would dry up, the traffic would dry up. Google's not going to spend your budget forever. If it's paying if you're getting leads for $50, but you're trying to bid $15, okay, what eventually happens is they just stop sending traffic to that campaign. But you will be surprised at how different sometimes the actual CPA can be from what you're bidding. But this is where you would make those adjustments. On to the next thing. I think this is the last thing that I really need to show you is how to exclude things. Okay. One thing that goes along with the video partners on the display network are ads that show up in mobile apps. And if you've played many games on apps, you've probably seen videos that show up that you're basically forced to watch, and you pretty much aren't doing anything. You're not going and signing up for things when you're in the middle of playing a game. These types of ads, these mobile ads, mobile app ads, are not good. Okay, we've tested these. We've tried running ads on mobile apps, even in campaigns that are fully optimized. The results just aren't good. Okay, it used to be we could just uncheck the box for video partners on the display network, and we wouldn't have to worry about mobile apps either. But now, since we're forced into video partners, we're also forced into mobile apps. Luckily, though, there's a way to exclude mobile app traffic. So let me show you that right now, because this is going to be very important once you are creating campaigns beyond the placement campaign. This placement campaign we don't need to worry about. These ads are only going to show up on the targeted videos and the targeted channels. They're not going to show up in mobile apps. But you are going to have to worry about this eventually, so I'm going to show you now. You can go to Tools and Settings and then Placement Exclusion Lists. And this is where we can add a list to exclude. We create the exclusion list and then we apply it to the campaigns. So you see down here app categories. And there's 84 apps categories right now in the App Store, 56 for Google Play. What you want to do is go in here and check all of these. And unfortunately, there's no shortcut. You do need to go check all of these. Okay, you want to make sure that you expand and check all of these. You check all of the app categories, and then check all of the Google Play categories. Okay, until you get the full list here. Remember, the full list is 140. You want this to say 140 selected. And then you would save that list. Now what I can do is check that list, apply to campaigns, and I can apply this to the campaign that I just built. So now that campaign is going to exclude all of these categories. When you build new campaigns, you want to come back into this exclusion section. You want to select the list again and apply them to your campaigns. Now, this isn't just limited to mobile apps. There's other things that you can and should exclude here also. Okay, you can also you can exclude websites. So even though our ads are being forced to show on third-party websites outside of YouTube, we can actually exclude specific websites. So this isn't going to completely solve the problem because there are new websites popping up all the time, but you can start to look at your campaign results, which I'll show you next. You can look at where your ads showed, and you can start excluding websites that your ads showed up on, things that are outside of YouTube videos and YouTube channels. And you would add lists of websites here. Okay, if you go to enter, you can add a list of URLs here and create a list of websites that you want to exclude. The other things you can enter here would be lists of certain types of YouTube videos that you want to exclude. Perhaps children's channels. Okay, you could add a big list of children's channels here, and then your ads would not show up on those channels. Or gaming channels. Another thing that we exclude are music video channels. The reason being, most of the time when people are playing music on YouTube, they're doing it passively. They're not actually paying attention to the video, so them being served one of your ads does no good. They're not even paying attention. More than likely, they're not watching the ad, and they're just going to want to skip it. So excluding music video channels is another thing to exclude. Okay, so those are the things I recommend excluding. Again, the mobile apps, video partner URLs, so display network URLs, and then children's channels, gaming channels, music video channels. When you have those created, you come in here and apply them to your campaign, and that's going to limit the amount of irrelevant traffic coming through your campaigns. Okay, so I just mentioned looking at your campaign to see where your ads actually are being shown. So let me show you how to do that. If you go into your campaign, you can come into content here, and then where ads showed. Now, once you start running your campaign, this is going to show you all the channels that your ad appeared on. And it's not going to show you the specific videos, but it will show you the channels. And I should say it actually won't show you all of the channels. Okay, if there's somewhere where your ads are not showing very frequently, unfortunately, Google does hide that information from us. So you can't actually see every channel your ad showed up on. A lot of them will be grouped at the bottom in a category called Total Other. But you will see a lot of the channels your ads appeared on. You will see the display websites where your ads appeared. So you can take that information and you can add things to your exclusion list. You can add those websites to your video partner exclusion list. If you see kids channels or other channels that are just completely irrelevant, like your target customer would never be watching that channel, then you can exclude those channels. You can exclude them from a specific campaign, or what works better is to go into your placement exclusion lists, add those to the exclusion list. That way they can be excluded from all of your campaigns. Okay, so that's what I want to show you in this video. And really, from start to finish, that is how you can set up a YouTube ad campaign. And when you're ready for that to launch, so you've made your landing page, okay, your tracking is installed so that Google is going to know what a conversion looks like. Everything's ready. You're ready to go. You come in here, change this to enabled, and that campaign will start running. And that's when the real fun starts. That's when you get to come in here, see what's happening, see is your budget being spent, how much are you paying per lead, and you can start to see what's working, what's not, and start to optimize your results. So if you want more on all those finer details of YouTube ads, again, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm putting out new videos all the time about YouTube ads strategy. Or if you just want someone to run your ads for you, okay, that's what my company does. Now, we don't work with everyone. In fact, we work with about fewer than 5% of the people who fill out our application form. And that's because we work on a profit sharing basis. Okay, we only get paid when our clients are profitable with their campaigns. So we need to make sure that when we do everything right as an agency, that the campaigns will be profitable. So we don't want to be sending traffic to an unproven funnel or something that is just we don't think is going to work with YouTube ads. And that's why we can't work with everybody. But if you want to see if we can work with you, if you want us to take a closer look at your funnel, then I invite you to click the link in the description and go fill out our application page where you'll tell us about your business, tell us about your funnel, and we will look, see if it's something we can help with, and potentially get on a call to talk about what it would look like exactly to work with us. So again, thanks for watching this video. If you learned something, click the like button, okay, share this with your friends, and definitely subscribe to this channel. Again, my name is Kyle Sulerud, and I will see you in the next video.